What's up guys, Joe here, welcome back to my channel, and today we are back with another episode here in season 2 of T-Mobile Bianchi, and of course we're coming off a great race with Gianni Moscon, and what a start it has been for the Italian. Look at his palmarès already just this season. Of course, in the previous episodes we won the Volta Valenciana, and so today we'll be riding the Clasica de Almeria, and then we have the Volta Algarve as well, and we will quickly cover what happens in the Tour of Colombia too. So before we get into today's episode, I do want to point out the new team screen, and as you see, we have some very different jerseys on screen. Not only New Balance, but we have AG2R Citroën, we have Astana with a new jersey, and most of the teams have a new jersey for the new season. And I got these off Le Gruppetto. I will leave a link in the description to the show reels. You can see, I think there's Tom and Yale whose jerseys I used, maybe a few others as well, but I'll leave a link to the show reels I used in the description below, just to freshen it up, as in real life. Of course, when a new season comes around, teams go for a new jersey. We have some in Conti Pro as well. Delco Marseille, Caja Rural have a new jersey as well, so just freshening it up. I think Cofidis have a new one as well. But first, the Clasica de Almeria, and we have Seisbol, Michael Matthews, Hofstetter as well as the favourite. So some very capable sprinters are at this race, and it probably will be for the pure sprinters. And taking a look at our squads, we are led by, of course, Rick Zabel, but we also have Stefan Bissiger, Gianni Moscon, Mauro Schmid, Alessandro Covi, Jonas Rutsch and Georg Zimmermann. And so, as you'd expect today, we're going to keep our guys in the peloton. I may try something with Moscon over the hills. If not, we're going to try and protect Rick Zabel and get him to the finish in the front group. But somewhat concerning to see an 18-man breakaway go up the road. Probably the most dangerous rider in this group, I would say, is the man with Johnny Brandao. So we're midway through these hills. Schmid is the man pacing for us. I'll up him to 84. I did notice that a certain Jakob Marexo is still in this group. Surely we can't allow him 54 hill, 55 mountain to get over these climbs. So we're still pushing on as much as possible, and Marexo looks pretty fine right here in this group. So let's just settle down. I think we've lost Schmid and maybe Zimmermann as well, and it's a really tough tempo over the top of these climbs. But I think Rutsch can maybe try and protect Rick Zabel. Yes, I'll protect with Jonas Rutsch, and let's try and nurse him to the finish now. 1 minute to that breakaway. Okay, so quickly we've come into the final 6k of the race. We've had a few attacks. Jempi Drucker is the latest, Benjamin Thomas as well. Biscuit, Rutsch and Zimmermann are all done for the day. Covi is going to try and bring Moscon and Rick Zabel right to the front, but Sanchez and Benjamin Thomas have now attacked, and they look pretty menacing up the roads right here. Covi going up to 95, and maybe, you know what, we could try it again. We could try it again right here. Gianni Moscon is on the attack. We're going to follow Seisbol with Rick Zabel, and Moscon has gone all out for the win right here. Can he take it? Zabel coming for behind. Moscon trying to hold on, and Gianni Moscon is too strong, beating Sanchez, who held out in that group ahead. Bol sprints to third, and what a finish right there. Moscon making the others pay. Moscon is just too strong for the others, it would seem. I think Seisbol and Sunweb will be very disappointed. They brought a very strong team to this race. But before going any further, I do want to look at the Tour of Colombia, which I did play, but I played it off camera, and you can see how we did. I won a stage with Wildauer on stage 1. We won stage 3 as well in a sprint, and Aliotti was our GC leader, but you can see Remco was at this race, and of course he was pretty unstoppable, as you'll see on the final stage here, winning by a mile. Aliotti almost 2 minutes down, but third place, and he did get third in the GC, so pretty decent race for us here with a few stage wins and a podium in the GC. But today we will be riding the Volta Algarve and a 5-stage stage race, HT category. You can see we have a flat stage into Lagos to start, a mountain stage on stage 2, a TT, flatter one again, and then a punchy finish. So pretty nice fun race here. And so looking at the objectives, you can see we actually did fail the objective at Valenciana despite winning the race overall. They wanted us to get a stage win, which we failed to do. However, today they want us to get more stage wins, so we need to make sure we win one of these races because it's much more important 2-star objective today. So maybe we'll focus on that rather than the GC. And looking at our squad for this one, we are led by Gianni Moscon. He is helped by Matteo Fabro, Alessandro Covi, Seb Schoenberger, Stefan Bisker, Simon Pello and Maro Schmid. We get underway today then, and Bisker and Moscon are our protected riders, and we do get a chance to look at some of the new jerseys right here. If we take a look, you can see the Kaja jersey has changed slightly. If you see there, I think the Jumbo Visma jersey has changed as well, looking very, very nice. Bahrain, McLaren too, and even the Ineos Grenadiers jersey has a few extra details on it, so just freshening them up like I mentioned. So it seems we have a 4-rider break today with Schmid relaying on the front. You can see the guys up the road here. So as we approach the final 30k of the race, the break have about a minute's lead up the roads. I think this is a chance to quickly look at the start list. You can see here Van der Poel, Buani, Tunison is here as well. Castro, maybe one of the favourites for the GC, or even Matthew Van der Poel could even win the GC right here. Liu as well is a very good young climber from China. But there you have the start list, and this is heading for a final sprint. So we now head into the final 10k here in Portugal. Schmid can go to 95 maybe on the slightly uphill section. We have Fabro, Schoenberger and Pello just sat in the main group, whilst these 4 riders, Schmid, Covi, Moscon and then Bisker, will be our guys to try and challenge for the stage today. We do have a little hill and a little downhill we definitely need to be aware of. I think we can slowly use those gels now into the final 6k of the race. Where are our rivals today? We have Brian Coquard here. He's a very, very capable sprinter. Can't quite see anyone else just yet. There is Van der Poel, not in that Dutch jersey. And now we can go to 95 maybe with Covi as Schmid is done for the day. 3.3k to go. Let's go 99. Let's do it. Covi uphill now. We need to push this with Covi. Maybe over the top. We're going to sprint right now with Covi. Maybe slightly too late because Moscon trapped in. So is Bisker trying to go for the line. Can one of these guys try and take the stage? I don't think it's going to be us for us today. Mike Tunison takes the win ahead of Coquard. We have Van der Poel much further back with Merlier in the top 5, and we only finish in, I think, 9th place in the end. So you guys probably noticed that I completely missed Moscon finishing on the podium actually, so a few bonus seconds for our GC leader, with Bisker only 9th. Pretty disappointing for him, but not too bad a start. On to stage 2 then, and we have the Queen stage of the race, a mountain classified stage, and Matthew Van der Poel is the favourite. And it's not surprised when you look at his attributes, but Moscon is right up there as well. Yikes. So you can see we already have a pretty horrendous day with Moscon, a -3 day on the Queen stage of the race. So for that reason, I will put a rider up the roads in the break. And of course, that is none other than Simon Pello. So we have a pretty hard fight for the breakaway right here, with more attacks still going off the front slowly. You can see a couple guys trying to bridge this gap with Simon Pello up the roads. These guys clearly not too happy with the work being done in this group. So let's just put Pello on automatic for the day. That should be pretty okay. So the guys up the road just weren't working at all with Pello. They would just attack him as soon as he was in that group. So we've dropped him back. We're now going to try and paste them in. Okay, then we enter the final 20k of the race right now. Our guys being protected. We're still going to try and look after Moscon despite this terrible day. And you can see the gap to that break is now just over 1 minute. So we're now into the final 10k of the stage, and the break have now been caught. So it is now down to the GC guys here, with Fabro getting pushed a little bit too far back in this group. Moscon is right at the front. We'll just take position. We don't want to make this more difficult for Moscon because of course he's on a terrible day. So into the final 5k, we still haven't had any attacks, and Moscon is in a great position here because despite this minus day, it looks like he's not going to lose much time in the GC. But here we go, we're starting to see some moves right now. So Fabro is going to pace at 90 with Moscon trying to sit on his wheel. Matteo Fabro is going to do a great job for the team here, try and give himself up for Gianni Moscon, but you can see he's really struggling just to stay here. But there you go. Okay, we come to the front, and you know what? Let's try it. Let's go on the attack with Matteo Fabro right here, but it seems he's unable to go clear, so let's sit up again. Moscon come back to his wheel. Let's stick to the script as Castro attacking off the front. We really want to get that stage win today. Looking unlikely though, and Moscon is really struggling now. Really struggling with the tempo here. Castro looking very good for the stage and probably the GC at this race with a TT to come. We're going to have to slow it up, try and go maybe 75 to the finish, but Moscon is going to collapse right here. Let's just sprint with Fabro, but you can see Castroviejo is going to win the stage ahead of Antunes with Van der Poel just behind in third position, Wackerman in fourth, and we're going to finish in the group behind. A pretty disappointing day here. Disappointing day today. We've probably lost the GC now, which should free us to solely go for stage victories. So we have the TT up next. Castro, Van Emden, and Tony Martin will be difficult to beat with Campanets as well. Probably my favourite for the day, but Moscon maybe in with a slim chance alongside Stefan Bissegger. So our first rider to cross the line today, Mauro Schmid, powering into fourth position. So we have Van Emden with the best time now, but Alessandro Covi crossing the line and only P9. So Bissegger on a -1 day, finishing just after Schoenberger. We died just before the line, and it's 58 seconds down on Jos Van Emden. So finally, our two big hitters, Matteo Fabro and Gianni Moscon, are underway, and you can see we do have some strong time trialists, including former world champ Tony Martin just up the road. So we have Gianni Moscon right now 7th place at the penultimate time check, and we have Fabro quickly approaching that section as well. He can go to maybe 87 for this short uphill section. Moscon down to 75, but yeah, don't think we're going to get our stage win today. So here comes Gianni Moscon about to cross the finish line. Can we get at least in the top 5? We go 7th place, 57 seconds down though on Tony Martin, who seems to be the winner today. We will see Matteo Fabro across the line right here, put him to 85, 90. I think we'll go slightly better than his Italian teammate did, but let's see. And Fabro just a few seconds quicker than Moscon. But the final riders crossing the line right now. Van der Poel started the day 13 seconds down. He loses over a minute on Tony Martin. Antunes seems to be putting in a decent time, 5th place for him. But Jonathan Castroviejo, can he win the stage as well? No, he can't. 2 seconds down, but he extends his lead in the GC. So you can see the new GC right here. Castro looks set to win the race. But Fabro and Moscon now in 5th and 6th place. On to stage 5 today, and we do have some small hills, but probably again for the likes of Buani, Van der Poel and Mike Dunison. So today I am considering putting a couple riders in the break. I'm going to try and put Schmid and maybe even Stefan Bissegger, our sprinter, in the break if we can get a few of these guys to the front. Okay, so we've made those moves. Riesbeek for Jumbo-Visma pacing on the front, and Bissegger is our sprinter on the day, of course. So this is a pretty risky move, putting our potential sprinter up the road. But it seems to me the peloton not too happy, sadly for us. Okay, so I'm preparing now because it seems Bissegger is not going to be allowed in today's breakaway. So I do want 2 riders up the road. I'm going to try and put Covi and Schmid up the road instead. So I'm trying really hard to get some riders in the break here. Covi is just bridging up to these front 3 guys, and they are sitting up for now. Would like to follow if anyone else goes with Mauro Schmid. So in the end, we did manage to get Alessandro Covi up the road, and the breakaway at 2 minutes and 40 clear of the chasing pack. So again, in the break, I'm not challenging for these KOM points. We're just trying for a potential stage win today. Oh boy, we've had a big fall, a really big fall here, because 3 of our riders have fallen, including Moscon and Fabro right here. Pello is going to try and pace them back in, but we also have Nasser Bouani here. Okay, we have Timo Rosen, some very strong riders are behind, and you know what? I am going to maybe just sit up for now and see if Arkea and Vini Zabu are going to get us back in. We can sit up. Pello can maybe protect Moscon. We can go like that for now. And our guys can take position in this group, because Bouani and even Timo Rosen are big rivals gone for the stage win, and Moscon, Fabro and Pello will lose our spots in the GC if they stay behind, but they're not going to win the stage, which is of course the main goal. Update on the situation then, you can see Malucelli as well in this group, Janssen, Ular, King Ular, you may remember him, or Aular from Benji Narson's series of course with Kaja, I think last year on PCM. But as you see, we're still making our way back into this group. I think they will get back in, but we're not going to contribute at all. So we're starting to see a few attacks in the breakaway, and Covey still feeling pretty good. So if these guys are all feeling well too, there is a slim chance this group could take the stage win. As you see, Moscon and Buani and the rest of them have now made it back in with a few teammates out the back. Who helped them get back in. So 18k to go. This group out front have 45 seconds on the peloton, now chasing pretty hard behind. Biska feeling pretty good. He will sprint for it if that group are caught, and to be honest, at this stage it seems they probably will be caught. So is this our chance at stage victory? 7k to go, and sadly for Alessandro Covi, he is now caught. We'll try one last ditch attack, but that will only give him the most combative rider on the day right here. So we have Schmid, Moscon and Bissiger going for the stage. Here we go then, Janssen, Tunison to our right. We have Cockard again. Schmid needs to go to 99 for sure right now. We're on a downhill section, and hopefully Schmid can lead Moscon and Bissiger into the final right here. I'm going to try and sprint a little early because I'm worried about going too late like I perhaps did last time, but Moscon giving Bissiger a great lead out versus Tunison versus Buani, but again we're not quite quick enough, not quite as quick as these guys, and Buani gets it ahead of Mike Tunison, and it's going to be P6 for Bissiger. So it seems we're going to have one final chance at grabbing a stage victory at this race. So then the final stage here in Portugal suits probably Van der Poel down to AT. I mean that final climb. We're going to probably have to get away from Van der Poel before that final climb, but can Moscon or maybe even someone else get that final stage win? So again, I'm going to try and get in the breakaway with a couple riders if possible. We have Schoenberger up the roads. Can we maybe get Bissiger or even the likes of Covey again, or even Pello up the road with those guys? Okay, so it seems we will get two riders in today's break. You can see the guys. Aular again is here. We have Bissiger, Flores de Tia, Kevin Razor is here, Kopecky, Pello is joining Bissiger up the roads, and Garcia trying to join this group to make it, I think, 12 riders. And so two strong riders. We have Pello and Bissiger. Not quite sure who the leader is. I think I'll try a long attack with Bissiger, and then Pello can sit in the wheels and maybe attack after everyone uses their energy, on paper at least, to bring in Stefan Bissiger. So we are now heading into the final 50k, and this break not looking too good to be honest, but I am going to use Pello now on 84 just to try and stretch this lead as much as possible over the chasing peloton and give Bissiger a chance. And this right now is a preview of the final climb. These guys are racing it like it is the final climb. We're going to pace steady with Pello just up to 85. We've dropped a few guys who are struggling with the percentages right here, but Pello can continue pushing on at maybe 75, and we are the only team now with I think two riders in this group. But no, because we had Bukta here come back on for Beat, who is Detir's teammate, and now 2.5k climb coming up. Pello can go to 85, and then I think we have to try and push it with Bissiger himself, whilst Pello will have to sit up and wait for the chasing peloton. But again, looking pretty unlikely here, as many of the break cannot live with this tempo set by Simon Pello. He is now done, whilst Bissiger can try and attack away with Detir and Aular on his tail. So we need to try and work together now. We have 20k to go. Detir, Bissiger and Aular do have over 90 seconds still on the peloton behind, and we really need to work together, otherwise we have absolutely no chance. I can always try and attack up to Bissiger if those guys get close with maybe Gianni Moscon or someone like that. Here we go then, we come onto this very steep climb. The peloton are just 50 seconds down now. Maybe I can try and attack up to Bissiger up the road. Bissiger really trying to push the tempo, as you see, into the final 10k, but we're going to have to continue working with those guys. We're just trying to stay here with the rest of the peloton, which is difficult with, I think, Malecki and Lou going off the front for the Chinese team up the roads, whilst Moscon and Fabro still looking pretty good. But now we're going to try it because Matthew van der Poel up the roads has attacked. So let's sit on his wheel with Moscon. Biska can probably sit up at this stage, and Van der Poel is going to drag Moscon up to Stefan Biska, I hope, but no, he is now caught. So Moscon can sit up maybe, and we'll try and follow Johnny Brandao if he's trying to attack, which he's not just yet. We're staying sat in whilst Biska is up the roads. Maybe now is our chance with Moscon, but no, we just don't have the power. Let's sit up completely, and this is not going too well suddenly. So we have 3k to go. Biska is sat on Kamil Meleki's tail, and let's push it now to 84. Moscon is going to need to go to 90 as well with Fabro on his wheel. Biska is going to find it very hard to win from here, and we haven't quite played this as well as I'd hoped we would. You can see Biska still has something left, but he is caught, and Van der Poel looking so strong on the front. Fabro is now our leader today, but this is going to be so difficult for Matteo Fabro to take the win. Moscon trying to push it. He can sprint. Fabro can sprint. The rest of our guys can sprint, but I don't think Fabro is going to have it versus Matthew van der Poel, who I think is just going to take the win ahead of Brandao and Antonez. And again, we're going to fail the sponsor objective here with Van der Poel taking the win, and Fabro is just going to finish in the top 10. So you have to say that's probably a pretty disappointing race for us right there. If Van der Poel had dragged Moscon up to Biska, I think that would have worked pretty perfectly, but Van der Poel was caught, and then of course we lost that advantage of having Biska up the roads. We get top 5 in the GC, but doesn't mean much because our best result on a stage was 3rd on stage 1. So there you go. For the first time in the series, we have 2 completely failed objectives in a row, and that's a 2-star objective as well. And we may start to see the sponsor confidence come down from 100% if we carry on. But looking ahead to the next episode, and I think we will be riding Omloop Het Nieuwsblad, Kerner Brussel Kerner, Strada Bianca as well. Cannot wait for that one. So some very exciting races coming up in the next few weeks. So it seems we did get Omloop and Strada. I didn't get an email for that. I guess it's because it's a Class B World Tour race. Worth noting though, we didn't get Tirreno, Adriatico or Paris-Nice. A shame we didn't get Tirreno being an Italian or a slightly Italian based team. But anyhow guys, if you enjoyed this one today, remember to drop a like on the video. As always, drop a sub to my channel if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next one.